It's not really your fault.
Right. So the fifth wheel hitch you got installed, you're new to that as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we're done, I'll close everything up, have you pull over, and we'll hook up, or if I'm able to, I'll probably bring it around there so you can just hook up and straight up. As far as up here, I'll show you how to hook up to your fifth wheel hitch. But the hitch itself, go back up onto here, the pin, well, the jaws will lock right around this pin.
That's the kingpin there, right?
Yep. And then once that's hooked up, you'll release the pressure of the unit, and then you have your 7-way. This will plug into the plug they installed in the bed of your truck. It's communication between the truck and trailer. Anytime that's plugged in, it's charging the battery. It's giving power to your electric brakes, and it's giving power to the lights. And then this guy, if all else fails, if the trailer came unhooked from your truck, this will pull from its pin box, and this will lock up the brakes in the trailer so it stops in place.
So let me ask you this: can we run the refrigerator while the truck is plugged in and running this?
Yes. This one has the. Does it have? No, it doesn't have. It has the refrigerator that's in there runs off of either propane or being plugged in. So
it's gas or electric.
Right.
But
so
is it?
What you would do is you would keep your propane bottles open, keep it on the propane side, and that would cool off of the propane. So then down here you have your generator access. You have access to your fluid for all your hydraulics.
Have you opened this up and tested it just to make sure it runs and everything?
Yeah. Yep.
All
So I put gas in it.
Okay. Well, we can test it again, right?
I can go ahead and show you it turns on and all that. So your hydraulic fluid over there, that's for all your gas, and then it's I believe it's for the slides as well. I'll have to double check when I get inside. As far as that, when all of the jacks are retracted, it'll show a more accurate reading of how much hydraulic fluid you have in there. Since they're extended, there's hydraulic fluid in the lines. Once you retract the jacks, you can see how full or empty that is.
That makes sense. Oh, now up in here, is there? Well, is that insulated, or is this just a floor right there?
I believe that's just the floor there.
So if I put some insulation up here, would that affect the ventilation for this generator, or where does it vent out at?
I don't believe it'll affect it.
Like, where does it get its fresh air?
I believe it's just down here.
Maybe it's right here.
Yeah, because it doesn't have.
And there's a vent here.
Yeah, that vent's for the battery.
Okay.
And then yeah, this is completely enclosed by itself. So I think that's where all of it goes out. The generator is down there. Because this has its own separate casing for the generator. So yeah, that's where all the air goes in and out for the generator.
So there's not really any insulation between this generator and there's a bed up here. So
yeah, it has this metal casing all around it, and then this is sealed up against the compartment when it's closed. So your exhaust, that's the exhaust pipe that goes out there, down there.
Okay. So I can insulate all this in here.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Watch your melon.
Your weight of the trailer, the gross vehicle weight is just under 17,000 pounds. Then you have the weight of all of the tanks down here, and your max cargo capacity is 1,700 pounds. And then you also have your tire pressures, which are all at 110 psi.
So wait a minute. So 1711. That's without these tanks full, right?
1711. That's how much extra cargo you can add. So that's not including the tanks.
That's not including the
Right.
tanks. Okay.
So that's how much stuff you can physically put into here.
All right. Okay. Well, that should be fine. I mean, aside from the motorcycle, I think that's 800 pounds. So.
Yeah. Usually the rest of it with, your regular cargo with all the food, clothes, all that stuff, it's not going to hit over it. And they add extra support for that toy hauler in the back. So that's way more than most trailers this size if it didn't have a toy hauler area. You have one of your propane tanks here. Then there's another one on the other side. They're both 30-pound tanks. The tanks are filled, and these are good for 10 to 12 years, the tank itself. Some people will take them and blue rhino them. You don't want to do that. They're also a different size than the 20-pound ones, but you want to take them somewhere like a Tractor Supply here or somewhere that fills them up. And to switch between the two, there's a valve up top here. If it's to the left, it's going to pull from the tank on the other side. If you switch it over to the right, then it'll pull from this tank heater. So in here, you've got a couple different things. Here you have your leveling system. So this will always, so you can switch between, it's just, let's say ready, that say that these jacks are down. You can go to manual mode. There's an auto retract mode. The manual mode, you can lift each individual jack up and down as need be. With the auto retract, what you'll do with that, once you're hooked up to the truck and you've lifted it up, tested it, made sure you're hooked up to the truck, you can just click auto retract and it'll retract all the jacks up, and then you're good to pull off. Then it'll also tell you front to rear. So we're sitting on a slope, so it's saying negative 1.7 degrees. The trailer's sitting lower in the front than the back.
So that means you need blocks on the front?
You could, yeah.
Because you can't jack it up.
Blocks, or you could, yeah, jack it up some more. Right. Most of the time, especially if you're going to use auto level, most people will get extra blocks and put them under all the jacks to give them more length to lift it up.
Right.
Sometimes, especially if you're sitting on a big hill, so if side to side, your right side was sitting way lower than the left, you're going to want more blocks on that side to kind of lift it up. You can also roll your wheels up on blocks and lift that side up higher too. Because if you're sitting on a big slope, you hit auto level and it goes to level itself, because that's another feature this has where all the jacks go down and they level out themselves. With that, it could pop up an error code because the jacks go all the way down and then they don't have any more length to finish leveling.
So blocks are key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Safe bet.
Yep.
Okay.
And then it'll tell you side to side, and it'll tell you your battery voltage. If I go to manual mode and hit enter, that'll extend the front, that'll extend the rear. If I hit retract and that red light's lit up, and I retract the front, then it'll retract whichever one I'm going to hit. Now, say you're doing it manually and you want to level it out that way if you choose to. If you just want this front left one to lift up, hold front and left together. Probably won't let me since we're sitting on such a slope. It wants to lift both the fronts up. But if you were going to do it manually, you could click both at the same time and it would extend just that one side and not the other. Same thing with the rear. You could hold rear left.
Press them together.
And it'll do just the rear left. And then this one's going to do just the rear right instead of just
the rear together.
The rear all together.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Is there do we get a manual with that system itself, like how to use it?
I can double check, but that one I believe has a manual.
Okay.
And then right here you also have a couple of different notes for how all that works.
Okay.
Then in here, this is all your water system hooked up at once. You've got an outside light there. All these lights have, it's one and then two different settings. One, I can't remember which one, is motion detector, so if you open this, that light will pop on. The other one is just on all the time. Then you have outside outlets there. This is your hookup for, if you were at the campsite, they had satellite, or well, you had your own portable satellite, you'd plug it into there and you'd have satellite throughout the unit. If you go camping somewhere and they have cable, you hook it into here and you have cable that goes to each of your TVs.
So that's already pre-wired to the TV, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Which you would just put your input there. And then this is your freshwater hookup and your city water hookup. The difference between the two, if you're camping at a campsite that does have water and sewer hookup, for the water hookup, you'd hook directly into theirs, run the hose up through here, and right into your city water. With that, you don't need the water pump. You already have pressurized water because their water's always running.
Okay.
This one is your freshwater hookup. That's if you're camping somewhere that doesn't have a water hookup. At home, you would put your water hose in there, let that fill up.
So does that fill up the tank?
That fills up a separate freshwater tank.
So how many freshwater tanks does this unit have?
It has one. It has
Okay.
one freshwater tank.
So that fills up the 130-gallon freshwater tank right there.
Right.
Same with the city water, but the city water is pressurized.
The city water bypasses the tank and goes right to your lines.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't
Alright.
go to the tank at all.
Okay.
So with the freshwater tank, you have to use your water pump because it's going to use that pump to pull from the fresh tank and have
right.
water through the unit.
Okay, that makes sense.
This guy here, this is just the hookup for it is inside. There's a hose that just hooks into here, hot and cold, outside shower.
Oh, I
Turns off
thought
the
this was the
dogs.
outside shower right here. So
Yep.
it's missing the what you call it?
The hose is in
Yeah,
it.
the hose, it's inside the
Oh,
hose.
okay.
And that pulls from where?
That pulls from the lines. So that if you're hooked up to city water, it's always going
Oh,
to
so
run.
it'll pull from either. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
It'll pull from either one, whichever you're using at that
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
So then here, these are for winterizing and dewinterizing. So right now there's water ran through the unit. There's water in your water heater and then in all the lines. Every year you are supposed to put antifreeze to it, drain the system of water and add antifreeze. Because most of the trailers, they're not meant to be used in all 4 seasons. They're meant to be used in 3 of the 4. So come winter time, once it's dipping below freezing all the time, you take, I believe it has the hookup inside. If not, you can just take the end of a garden hose and hook it to this winterized valve here and stick that tube into a bottle of antifreeze. Then you would turn your valve to winterize and you would turn your water heater to bypass. The reason you're bypassing your water heater is when you put antifreeze to the lines, you drain the water out and you have antifreeze. It's a foamy liquid. You don't want antifreeze in your water heater because then come
Burn
next
up
year,
the element and everything else, right?
you'll go to use it and it'll have antifreeze in there and your water will always be foamy. So you want to keep it to bypass when you run antifreeze through. What that does is at your water heater, it has this drain bolt down here. This has an anode on it as well. So that whole thing is supposed to be replaced every so often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is this taped off right here? What is that button?
That's, so I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself. But that's for the electric element on the water heater. So I'll double check. You have a gas side and an electric side. The electric side pulls from being plugged into 50 amp service. This has to be switched on and then it has to be switched on from inside as well. All that does is turn on the electric side of your water heater.
Okay, so that's the electric side of the water heater.
Correct.
So normally it's going to pull from the gas side.
Yep, and the switch for that's inside.
Okay.
It'll turn on and light the gas side.
All right, and then you got this reset right here.
Yep, that's if it fails, you'll just push them and reset it. With your water heater though, that bypass system, all it does is it turns so your antifreeze doesn't get to here. What you'll do when you go to winterize, you'll pull your pressure release valve, leave that cooled. So when you go to take this the anode out, it doesn't shoot out at you and have a lot of pressure built up to it.
Now, what is the anode exactly? What does it do?
I believe it helps with the heating of the system. It's just different models of the water heaters. Some have the anode, some just have a drain bolt that's on them. What exactly it does, not 100% sure, but
So
I can ask.
it's for the water heater assembly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the minerals in water sediment is what will cause that to corrode if it's not changed, correct?
I believe so, yeah. So this is all the way back to that outlet back there. This cord itself is yours, and it comes with the unit. Up here, if you had a little solar panel, a little portable one, it would plug into there. What that does is those wires are ran back to the battery, and that little solar panel would just keep a trickle charge
Charge the
run to your
battery.
battery. Yep.
Okay.
All out here, as far as your slides, it has these seals that go around either side and across the top. We have what's called an RV silicone lubricant. Every couple months, spray that, and then run the slide in and out. That's just, these are rubber, they'll start to dry rot if you don't condition them.
Yeah.
So
Now,
you
how
just-
do you replace that once they do kind of fall apart.
If you replaced it, you have a seal along here. This D-seal is what helps when the unit's closed. It keeps it sealed. That comes off, and then most of the time these are either stapled in or screwed in.
Oh, you just pop them off.
And yeah, just pop them off, put the new ones on, and put more Proplex along the side. Doors in here. You won't really have to do much within
It's
here.
a refrigerator, right?
Yep, that's access to the back of the refrigerator. Every so often, grab a can of air and just spray it out, get rid of any stink bugs, stuff like that. It's just, here's where your propane will go in, and then this is plugged into an outlet for the electric side of the refrigerator.
Okay.
And then, looks like this is also
A little fuse.
Yeah, that's for the igniter for your propane side. And then the one that's up top there, that's just for airflow.
In the loft.
Yeah, so since the refrigerator's on slide, that's where all the airflow would go out for your refrigerator.
What is this gray tank thing?
That's for, you have another valve back here.
Oh, okay.
That's for a separate gray tank. So this has two sewer hookups. So you have one right there
Oh.
and then one there.
Oh,
So
that's right, 'cause we have 2 bathrooms.
it had, yep, so it's got 2 bathrooms. That's where they put the gray tank valve, and then they put the black tank valve right here.
So right now it's open, right?
Yep. And then it's open. It's closed. Most people, with the way these are hooked up, so you don't have to take the sewer hose from that one and put it to this one and back and forth. They'll hook the sewer hose to here, one to there, bring it back to a Y, and then put that Y into the ground.
That way you're not flushing twice.
And then
Just do it all at the
right
same
there
time.
above the tires, that other hookup for water, that's another black tank flush. So that's for your second black
Okay.
tank. In here, you have this is the fill for the auxiliary tank for that fuel pump. And then,
How long is this hose? This is just long enough, huh? And that's the pump right there.
yep, and the switch is right here.
All right.
The 2 is on, and then just 1 to stop it. Then you've got your gauge there to tell you how full that tank is as well. And then this is the fill up for the generator. So that's where you would switch the generator to fill that up, and then 1 for that auxiliary pump. Here you have your access to your ladder. This is access to the roof. Your roof is a fully walkable roof. And what's up there is you have a rubber membrane that runs across the top. And at every accessory, so wherever any vents are, anything that's up there, those are all screwed down into the plywood that's on the roof. And then they're sealed with what's called lap sealant over top of them. So that's just like a flexible silicone. After time, it's going to start to crack or pinhole. So before it gets too bad, you want to get up there with a bottle of lap sealant yourself and a caulk gun, and you can just throw it over top of anywhere it's cracking so water doesn't continue to seep in.
So right over top of it. You don't have to scrape up what's already there.
Right, as long as it's only a little bit, it's not too bad.
Okay.
You can just put it right over top and be fine with it. And you don't have to go crazy with it either, because a little bit will go a long way, especially if you get there's self-leveling, so you can just put a bead across it and it'll spread itself across. I also would clean it up because everything sits up there all the time. Clean it before you put it on.
What do you use for cleaner?
Soap and water?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll use what's called glue remover. It's just kind of a stronger adhesive remover, so if there's anything really stuck up there. That's what we also use. So with these windows, the water will seep down and you'll start to get black streaks. You get them on almost every camper. If you look like right there, how they start to seep down. There's cleaner inside that we do sell. If you purchase that, that's the same stuff we use to clean them and get rid of black streaks and stuff like that.
And that's on the outside.
Do you know if these are dual pane windows?
Most of them are. I'm not sure. I'll have to check if these are.
Alright.
I think it's just a single pane actually.
On the garage.
Yeah, to unlock from inside with the key or the.
So that is prepped for the backup camera, right?
Yes.
What do I need to do to get that backup camera to hook up? Is there an app or something? Or?
So with the backup camera, if you purchase a Furrion one that it's pre-wired for, the setup comes with a camera and a screen, and that separate screen works through Bluetooth. That screen you'll just plug into your truck, and anytime you have the running lights on the vehicle, it'll give power to the camera, and that camera will display on the screen.
So that's not a camera.
No,
It's just a prep.
yeah, it's just a camera. So I can go grab the keys so I can show you how this opens up from in here.
Yeah, we definitely need that camera too. You guys sell them or
Yeah,
just
we
buy it
sell 'em.
online? All right.
People have mentioned it to me. I don't know how much it costs, but I would maybe get your keys. Some people will pay to get all the locks changed out.
Oh, they're all
single
different
lock.
keys.
It's one of these purple sets is for the front door. The other purple sets for the back door. This is for the compartment doors that swing open and have that slam latch.
Okay.
This is for the compartment doors that don't have the slam latch and just have the turn. And then these are for this rear.
Yeah, that's a lot of keys,
So,
man.
especially with these,
You got enough keys.
somebody, I just did a demo the other day. They said someone they knew paid $90 or something just to go through and change all the locks
Change all the
out
locks,
and
yeah.
give it the same key.
Yeah.
Then you can take that key and get a couple of it, and you have a
Right,
bunch of
right.
replacements.
Yeah.
Did they ever show you how all this opens up though?
No.
So,
It was just a salesman up there. He really didn't know.
okay, so this side will open the same as this one. It's like that latch.
I didn't know if that's
What was
Let's
it?
go for 3,000 pounds.
no, good.
Yes.
My little 150
well,
should
I
make a
already went
difference.
around the whole outside. So this will open up, and then this swings, and this side
I'm
slides
training,
back.
I'm learning, so this is my
Oh,
first
no
day,
problem. Yeah.
Sorry.
So this slides out, and then it'll lock into place up here.
Oh, I see the latch. I think it has to come towards you a hair. Looks like it
Hold on.
in the back goes in and then you pull
Oh, I
forward.
know what
Mind the way?
yeah, I see what. So this has to be. Yeah, this has to be closed because I couldn't get it to latch with that in the way.
Oh. This thing's going to be a nightmare. I can already tell.
It's like one of those. So you go
Right.
in and then
It's like a
push.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has that pin that locks in.
And then that
and
pushes
then
it back.
Open. And once that's open, and this one does the same thing. And locks in there.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
And this one opens up, and then that locks.
Gotcha. Same thing with
It
that.
seems like a nice system when it works. But yeah, this needs to be. I mean, you can't even open. I mean, you can't even open that.
Yeah, I'll get loosen these up, lift it up, and then adjust it. Then it has those steps over there. Those steps will just sit and lock into place here. They'll sit there, and then the handle locks onto the steps.
Oh, okay.
So I can show you that. Do you want me to take them out and
What,
What, the
these?
steps?
steps?
No, you don't
Okay.
have to worry about that.
So I'll adjust that. And then, I guess while I'm here, this goes down into a bed.
Right.
Let's flip it down. Yeah, and then you would turn your legs down so they give more support in the middle.
And how did it go down?
If you lift it up.
Yeah.
So it has a pin. Put the pin in. And then turn it.
And they're on both sides, okay.
Yep. There's your pins. That'll lock that in. Then you'll lift it up, and it's a dinette table.
That's
as well.
a little bumpy. It's not too bad though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
For
And
the
then once
kids.
you-
Once you
Liam will probably
sleep on it, I guess
be all
it'll.
over the place.
So you got the feet down.
Yep.
And these. So
Hold
this
it?
one, yeah, you can hold up. Locks into this one, and then it brings this one up. I'll have to grab them either from another one or from inside.
Do you
It's
guys?
supposed to have pins that'll go into up there, and it'll hold this bed up. So when you want to use this as a dinette, this bed stays up.
Right.
Okay.
All 4 pins hold either side and leave this up with it.
So write that one down because we're missing pins for this.
Hold on, so I missed that. This will force this bed to go up if we want the garage to have full access.
Correct.
If we want to use this and make this go up, it doesn't run on the jack, it runs on pins.
So it does. So if you lift this one up,
Okay.
and you continue to lift it up, it'll bring this one with it.
Oh, I
It'll
see.
go
And
all
then
the way
you
up.
pin it,
You'll use it to lift this guy up, put 4
pin
pins
it,
in,
and then drop
and then
this
bring
back.
this one back down.
Gotcha.
So let's
Okay.
do that, right?
Yeah, if you leave it up, then I'll grab the pins.
Okay.
And I'll put them in for you.
Go ahead and take it all the way up.
When I push this, it'll stop once I get there.
It'll
right?
stop. Yes.
Do you guys seem to have a lot of issues with this Happy Jack system?
Not that I've seen.
I mean, do you have to like lube this chain or do anything?
I don't believe so. No. I think that's why they have it moved
right there.
slower so that it doesn't pop off or anything. And so we should have some pins in stock. If not, I'll steal them so that this one has them. Then with the garage access, once you have the motorcycle in here, you'll open this guy up, and you can have the air go out of there, and then there's another one up there, so that when you're driving you can leave that open, and then open this up.
So it doesn't stink.
Yeah, so it kind of brings air flowing through here the whole time.
That's nice that they thought about that. That's a nice feature, man.
So you got your washer dryer hook up there if you plan to add one in the future. Most of the time people will just use the double washer and dryer combo and leave it here. This pops off, and then the drain will just go down into there, and then you got your hot and cold.
So that goes to the gray water tank.
Yes. Yep. Then you got just the.
And then what is that? A heat duct down here?
Yes. Yep.
So it's just one heat duct out here?
With this one, yeah, because through the up through the ceiling, that's your AC hookups. And then I meant to show you when I was up there, when this was down. It's pre-wired for a second AC. So if you added one in here, or it might be pre-wired for a third one.
We can bring it back down.
So it has the cover right there next to the fan. So that's just
okay.
saying there's 110 room through there. So if you added
your
one,
speakers.
it's already there. Yeah.
Okay.
And you've got that vent that'll clink open for airflow.
Oh, you have heat back here too, right? Or is that for AC? You're saying
that's
that's
for AC, yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
And then you got your switch here for your awning as well. So now this will stop whenever it's out all the way. I don't want to open it too much just with that wind blowing.
Where's the awning switch? Oh,
It's up
there,
here.
okay.
All the way it'll stop.
Sweet.
I'm just gonna bring it in. I don't want to catch anything.
Alright.
As far as your bathroom, with the toilet, make sure to use RV marine toilet paper. And if you hold the pedal halfway down, it'll fill up with water. And then all the way down, we'll go ahead and flush it. And then make sure to have plenty of water to go down with it with the toilet paper, because you don't want any of that to get caught in the lines if you add too much.
Have to teach the kids about that.
You have your TV in here.
Oh man, I'm
Let's crank the heat on, man. See if the heat works.
Okay, I can go ahead. The AC controls are up here. The left side's a power button and switches between. So auto with your fan, that's just changing the fan speed for the AC. Then you have the AC to turn that on, and the adjustment for the temperature. And then if you switch it over to the furnace, then the furnace is there, and then you have your temperature controls. So.
Just crank it down there.
here.
I mean, it's gas, so it should heat up pretty quick. That's an alarm.
Yeah, that's a carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. So if there's anything leaking or someone bumped into the stove and it's letting propane in, that will go off.
I noticed that.
That's this.
So you have one of your resets for your outlets here, and then you have one, I think it's in the back. So if any of the outlets pop, I check one of them first, and then after that, in that closet there's your breakers and fuses down the bottom. So that just pushes in, and opens up. Breakers are everything you have in the unit that runs off of 110 or your 15 amp service. Those are all there. If any of them, then you know just to reset the breaker. Any of your fuses, if those pop, a red light will light up next to them and tell you that they are, one of them is blown. They're regular automotive fuses, so if you want to get a couple extra, you can keep them on hand. I get someone take them with you. That's about it for that. And then here you have your packet. This has all the owner's manuals for the unit, inside and out for all the different appliances. Then you have your other remote for the other TV. If you turn this to high and hold it in, it'll light.
And this is for the oven.
Oven.
What about this? The light? Okay.
Light switch for them, and then there's one for the oven.
Oh.
As far as lighting your oven, it's just similar. It takes a bit longer for the propane to get down there. This should light your pilot light. So down there, you have your pilot light. So once your pilot light's lit, just hold it for a couple seconds, let the air get through.
Is it lit?
Yep, it's down in there.
I thought I heard it kick on.
You
Yeah.
gotta kind of look at all the way down. And then if you turn it to,
Turn that thing on high.
I think they're over here.
Okay.
These ones aren't. That's for the pendant. That's for those. And then you have the interior lights.
What about these lights under here? Oh, they're lit. Okay.
So interior must light all of it.
You got the interior light. Those are the interior. That's turned on and off. Turns all them on in here. And there's one for your awning lights. Those turn the LED strips on the awning.
Okay.
This one is just for that pendant. And then the other one's for the LEDs that are up there and down there.
And down there. Where? Under there? And under here. Oh wow. Did you know there were lights under there?
Yeah, we looked at that last time.
Oh, and there you turned the lights on down there just now. Okay.
It's like the heated seats and the cushion and the massage.
Oh, there's lights on this side too.
Your fireplace runs off of being plugged in.
Yeah, we might as well make sure that works.
Here's your hose for outside. And then the nozzles.
I'll
Sorry.
have to double check the remotes over there. But your radio, this has an on and an off.
Close to the beach on Maryland.
Sometimes they have it plugged in already.
Why is this? I was like, why is this thing vibrating?
They saw each other for the first time.